Live on YouTube, live on Rumble. Good afternoon, hello, welcome to This Day in History, AKTDH. I am Xander. You viewer are you. We will be joined by the Golden Loon here shortly, hopefully soon. Anyway, today is, what is today? Tears' Day, aka Tuesday, May 26, 2026. It's 2626. Look at that.
2626.
Yeah. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Yeah. The show is, of course, about interesting and important happenings that, occurred to date throughout the annals of recorded history. We have a 35-page document,
Ooh.
so not bad. It's not 38, it's not 43, it's not 51, like that one time.
Not even 32 and a half.
No. Well, it's not that low, but keep in mind that most of it is like repeating stuff, so honestly it's really like more like a 28-page script. If I consolidated everything, which that's what I'm planning on doing next year with all this stuff instead of doing a show every day, probably going to do it once a week or something.
Okay.
So yeah. Anyway, let's get on with the show. Starting us off in the year 17, Germanicus celebrated a triumph in Rome for his victories over the Cherusci Chatti and other German tribes west of the Elbe. 451 here, we have the Battle of Avarter between Armenian rebels and the Sassanid, the Sasanian Empire, took place. The Armenians were defeated militarily, but were guaranteed freedom to openly practice Christianity. I had no idea the Armenians were Christian. I always thought they were more like Islamic or something.
No, Armenians are Christians, yeah.
Huh.
Absolutely.
Oh, well, I did. Well, you know what? That makes sense because I did know that the Armenian Christians celebrated Christmas on January 5th or something.
Something like that. A little bit later, yeah.
I just didn't know all the Armenians were Christians.
Well, I don't know if they're all, but generally speaking,
yeah.
The ones who chose to were allowed to, follow Christianity.
Continue doing that. All right. I mean, I already knew it, and I was still ignorant of it. What the hell?
Well, sometimes you just don't connect the dots on things.
Yeah. 553, Moon Jaguar became the 10th ruler of the Maya city of Copan, or modern Honduras. He will reign for 25 years. Well, that's really interesting. Mm-hmm. Now we know in Honduras. Is Honduras a country or a city?
Honduras.
See? So I'm not the only one here. Good. I was worried I was being ignorant again, but I am.
It's a city.
It's a country.
It is a country.
Okay. I thought it was, but I wasn't entirely sure. Anyway, what else do we got here? 946, England was left temporarily without a monarch after the death of King Edmund I in a street fight, resulting in Edmund's brother Eadred assuming the throne from the minority of Edmund's two sons. Okay.
A street fight?
Yeah, I know. What the hell? Like, what's the King of England getting caught in a street brawl? Like, what? What? I mean, that sounds like a Scottish thing,
You didn't have the troops around? You didn't have him handy to whomp the guy?
That was probably who he was fighting. I don't know. Anyway, 961, primary source just says German King Otto II was crowned. That's a nothing article. Other source, though, says King Otto I elected his 6-year-old son, Otto II, as heir apparent and co-ruler of the East Frankish Kingdom.
Co-ruler, huh?
Yep, he was crowned at Aachen and placed under the tutelage of his grandmother, Matilda. So it just said German King Otto II crowned. He is technically a king, a co-ruler. Doesn't say his age or any of that, stuff. So that's, shame on primary source. But then again, primary source has a lot of more stuff just numerically than a secondary source, so we can't shame him too much for not digging into the things. Secondary source digs into most things, more often than not, more in depth. Although there have been several occasions where the primary source has actually spoken more about an article than the secondary source has when it does have
maybe
one.
Your secondary source should be a primary source.
No, I mean, this has more articles numerically.
Oh, okay.
So, primary source. Anyway, 1293, an earthquake struck Kamakura, Kanagawa, Japan, killing about 23,000 people. Wow.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. 1328, William of Ockham was forced to flee from Avignon by Pope John the 22nd. He and two other Franciscan leaders secretly left Avignon, fearing a death sentence by the Pope. 5 centuries ago, 1526, 4 remaining ships of the Spanish Laosa expedition sailed into the Pacific Ocean, soon to be separated in a storm. Only one will successfully cross to reach the Spice Islands. Then it has to go back. Fuck. 1538, Geneva expelled John Calvin and his followers from the city. Calvin lived in exile in Strasbourg for the next 3 years. Okay. 1596, England, France, and Netherlands signed a Drevenham Covenant against Spain. So they're conspiring together there. 1637, Mystic Massacre. In the first battle of the Pequot War in Connecticut, about 500 Pequot Native Americans are killed by colonial forces. Yikes. 1644, Portuguese Restoration War. Portuguese and Spanish forces both claimed victory in the Battle of Montillo, but who was the actual victor? And I propose that as a challenge to you, viewers, if you'd like to go look up who the actual victor is. And if one source says one side and the other source says another, post both. Not just for your own knowledge or for ours, but anybody else watching this and reading the comment section. So yeah, 1647, Alice Young became the first person executed as a witch in the American colonies when she was hanged in Hartford, Connecticut. I actually have a photo here. It appears to be a young lady, either as young as a preteen, maybe a young adult. I can't really tell, because it's obviously they didn't have photography back then and all that stuff. But a younger lady,
a young lady,
yeah, and
not a kid. But.
Yeah, no. But what's interesting though, I'm wondering why she isn't already meme. The look on her face, she's like, really, But yeah, rest in peace, young lady, Alice Young. Well, her last name is Young. Wow. 1647 as well, Massachusetts disallowed priest access to colony. So I guess they fully were going crazy in the colonies. Connecticut doing that, Massachusetts doing this. 1736, Battle of Aquia in Louisiana. British and Chickasaw Indians defeated the French, and the French were also allied with the Choctaw. So it says here from the other source, the Battle of Aquia was fought near the present site of Tupelo in Mississippi. British and Chickasaw soldiers repelled a French and Choctaw attack on the then Chickasaw village of Aquia.
Now, when you start reading something like this, you realize
they're being wound up into the white man's fights.
Yeah, with the white man coming here, it turned the whole area into an upheaval.
Yes.
Who hooked up with who to survive?
They did fight each other, they did conquer lands, and everything. The whole thing about the natives, we stole their land. Well, you took the land from whoever you conquered, and they took it from whoever they conquered. It's the same story all over the world, but
I don't think we realized how much of an upheaval that was.
Well, we came in, and we just took everything over, and
But then we fought, then they got help.
Yeah.
And they chose sides, and it keeps going. Anyways, go ahead.
Yeah. 1770, the Orlov Revolt, a first attempt to revolt against the Turks before the Greek War of Independence, ended in disaster for the Greeks. 1781, Bank of North America incorporated in Philadelphia. 1783, a great jubilee was held at North Stratford in Connecticut, celebrated the end of the fighting of the American Revolution. Nice. I would have loved to attend that. Although, I would have.
Not now, really, because you'd be dead by now.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at. It'd be that would have been a lot, earlier in the history. 1790, territory of South Ohio River, or the territory south of River Ohio, was created by U.S. Congress. I don't know why that was so hard for me to read. Territory south of River Ohio. Okay.
Well, why didn't they say Ohio River?
Well,
that's why you got screwed up.
Yeah, I know, right? I'm just gonna image search this just to see what the heck they're talking about here. The Ohio River Valley. Okay, by the
that was a territory.
Okay, yeah. By the 1740s, both French and English traders had begun entering the Ohio River Valley, leading to river claims to the region. This led both sides to begin building forts to protect their claims. Yeah, Ohio was a big deal during those times.
You should flip those two words.
Ohio River Valley?
On your written thing here.
South of River Ohio.
Of Ohio River.
Ohio River. I'll put it in there just to be sure. So, 1796, French garrison of Fort Charlotte on the island of Saint Lucia surrendered to British forces. 2,780 mostly black prisoners of war boarded ships to England. Yikes. Probably got shipped off to Australia or something, or put in labor camps. That's horrifying. 1798, British killed about 500 Irish insurgents at the Battle of Tara. Yep. 1805, Lewis and Clark first sight the Rocky Mountains.
Oh.
Now, I have a picture of this. Look at that. I know, yeah. Now, there's several other photos. I'm just going to image search this article.
How are we going to get over this?
Yeah, but I just want to show this. You know, this looks like, I think this might be AI, but I'm not entirely sure.
It looks painting.
Yeah, well, like, that's what I'm saying. I'm not sure if this is AI, because if it is, it's incredibly detailed, because you can almost see the individual leaves on the trees all the way back here. You can see depths. Mm-hmm. So, but it's beautiful. I think
it's a painting.
Yeah, it's gorgeous, you know. And then right here, like another, you know, them.
Oh yeah.
You're looking at them, looking at the mountains. So you know that's not a really good image there. That's another good one though. Like by a falls and everything. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. 1805, Napoleon Bonaparte was crowned King of Italy, and he was with the Iron Crown of Lombardy in Milan Cathedral, the Gothic Cathedral of Milan. Okay. 1821, establishment of the Peloponnesian Senate by the Greek rebels. All right. 1 year after that, at least 113 people died in the Gru church fire, the biggest fire disaster in Norway's history. Yikes. Wow. That's horrible. In a church.
Yeah.
1824, Brazil was recognized by the U.S. Awesome. 4 years later, mysterious feral child Kaspar Hauser was discovered wandering the streets of Nuremberg. So here's a statue of this feral child, apparently. But, like, according to the depictions, he was clothed. So I'm not sure why they call him a feral child, unless he was just like a homeless orphan.
What does a feral child mean?
Well, like a feral cat, a feral dog, like somebody who was raised in the woods or something by impoverished parents that were not part of society, and maybe his parents died and he just kind of wandered into town. But he has clothes on and everything, so it's not like he was a wild kid or something. Which that also has happened. Like the story of Mowgli. What was it? What was the name? It's one of the Disney movies with the snake and Kaa, like the tiger,
yeah,
and everything. The Jungle Book.
Yeah.
Yeah. Remember the man cub?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's things like that have actually happened where there was actual feral wild humans, no clothes, just living out there, being found and everything. There's a lot of weird stories out there, man. Like the Blue Kids. That's a whole nother bag of hammers. 1834, Portuguese Civil War ended. Don Miguel capitulated. Okay. 20 years after that, in 1854, William and Frederick Langenheim took 8 sequential photos of the first total eclipse of the sun visible in North America since the invention of photography. That's it right there. Yes, I'm going to get a better image, actually. That was for the thumbnail, so that way they all fit. But I have a sequential in line here. Open image, a new tab. See if I can bigger this. Yep, so here we go. So I think it's from left to right. So, yeah.
Yeah, it is.
You saw it there. Move a little bit forward. Mm-hmm. You kind of see that it's taking over, and then now it's past, and it's exposing. That is awesome. 1854, people. Like of a what was it? A first total eclipse of the sun. Solar eclipse.
Well, first one photographed.
Yeah, well, the first one photographed, of course. So, but that's awesome.
Yeah.
1857, U.S. slave Dred Scott and family were freed by owner Henry Taylor Blow only 3 months after U.S. courts ruled against them in Dred Scott versus Stanford. 1860, Giuseppe Garibaldi occupied Palermo, Italy.
Giuseppe?
Yes. Well, he was one of the some guy involved with the unification of Italy. We've covered this a couple of times. Like after Rome dissolved and everything, Italy was, once again a bunch of pockets. And then he's labeled the unifier of Italy, but the actual guy credited as some other guy. But they worked together in some capacity. I don't know the exact history, but he and his group of people and that one guy unify Italy. So he's in Palermo right now, which is in Sicily. 1861, Union blockades towns of New Orleans and Mobile in Alabama. Is New Orleans in Alabama?
New Orleans.
No. Louisiana? Right.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, New Orleans, Louisiana, and Mobile, Alabama. There we go. We also had U.S. Postmaster General Blair announced end of postal connection with South. Well, that makes sense, At least back then, we knew how to treat our enemies. I mean, freaking, today China has been doing things to us for, 50, 60 years, and we're still openly trading with them, the entire Western world. Why are we working with the enemy and helping them out? It makes no sense. 1864, the territory of Montana was formed. President Abraham Lincoln signed legislation organizing the Montana Territory, as a U.S. territory. It's telling me to image search this. But I actually think I do have an image for the... Yeah, there we go. The territory of Montana.
Oh, okay.
1864. But I'm going to image search this anyway, because I think there's something I wanted to show. Oh, yeah, right here. So it shows the various territories. And I'm not sure, how much, if any, change. I mean, of course, Dakota Territory became North and South Dakota. What's here? I know there's something there, right?
Yeah, there's definitely no...
We have Idaho Territory, Montana Territory, Washington, Nevada, Utah. Those are all territories, but they eventually just became states.
What was that one down there?
That's Nebraska, Kansas.
No, back over, down.
Colorado?
Yeah. Is that Colorado?
That's Colorado.
Okay.
Territory. That doesn't mean that's where the Colorado state ended up, but is that where Colorado?
We don't have no, because we don't have four corners in there, so that's a little different. But I'm trying to think of what that one area is.
The four corners right here.
Oh, it's still farther down.
Yeah, this is Nevada, Utah, and then Arizona is right here, and New Mexico is here. Texas is down here.
So that's got to be Wyoming up there.
Wyoming. Thank you. I was wondering what was up there. Oh. Anyway, let's get back on track here. What do we got? 1865, U.S. Civil War, Battle of Galveston in Texas. Confederate General Edmund Kirby Smith negotiated a surrender. So, commander of the Trans-Mississippi Division was the last full general of the Confederate Army to surrender at Galveston, Texas. It's still going! How many times have we, discovered an article the official that, about the damn Civil War? Did it actually end? I don't know anymore. 1868, U.S. President Andrew Johnson is acquitted by the Senate by one vote during his impeachment trial by the skin of his teeth. 1869, Boston University was chartered by the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. It's pretty cool. 1876, HMS Challenger returned from a 128,000-kilometer oceanographic exploration. It makes me wonder, though, what did they explore? I know they went around a while. I've heard of the Challenger, just not why. I don't remember, at least. 1879, Russia and the United Kingdom signed the Treaty of Gandamak, establishing an Afghan state. So, what? Afghanistan? I guess?
I guess.
Did they make Afghanistan? 1887, racetrack betting became legal in New York State. Okay. 1894, German Emanuel Lasker became undisputed world chess champion by defeating Austrian U.S. Defending title holder William Steintz 10-5 in 4 draws in Montreal, Canada. Excellent.
What surprised me, no Russians in there. Usually they're so dominant.
True.
This is before their time.
Yeah, I guess so. 1896, Dow Jones Industrial Average began with an average of 12 industrial stocks. The daily closing value was 40.9. But this was Charles Dow, and he published the first edition of the Dow Jones Industrial Average, so this was the first one, ever. 1896, James Dunham murdered 6 people in Campbell, California. Any relation to Jeff?
Dunham.
Dunham.com. The other white mate. 1898, last Tsar of Russia, Nicholas II, was crowned. He was the last Tsar of Imperial Russia. 1896 as well, worst streetcar disaster in North American history when part of Port Ellis Bridge collapsed, killing 55 people at Victoria Harbour in British Columbia, BC. That sounds like Canada. 1897, Dracula by Irish author Bram Stoker was published by Archibald Constable and Company in London. Alright. 365 days later, 1898, San Francisco approved city charter allowing municipal ownership of utilities. Okay. 1899, lifts for the recently opened Eiffel Tower. I have an image for this.
Yeah.
We're ready, offering an option other than the 1,710 steps for visitors to get to the top. Remember a couple weeks ago or whenever it was, I don't remember anymore, but like it was, I think before you left, like the day before you left, so it's been a couple weeks. But we spoke about the opening of the Eiffel Tower, but the lifts weren't ready. So if people wanted to get to the top, they had to use the stairs.
Yeah.
Now the lifts are ready.
I've taken the lift. Didn't walk them.
I would walk, because I'm crazy. 1898, we got that one. We got that one as well. 1900, Thousand Days War. The Colombian Conservative Party turned the tide of war in their favor from victory against the Colombian Liberal Party in the Battle of Palo Negro. So is this actual political parties like fighting each other? Like as if like a group of conservatives and a group of Democrats, like like in the streets, and it actually took up arms to start shooting or something. Like
I don't know.
Like because it says both party, Conservative Party, Liberal Party.
Yeah.
But it's a battle of Palo Negro. It's like it turned the tide of war. Like what is happening? Like. 1903, Roman de la Pine, the longest running newspaper by and about Romanians until World War II, was founded. We spoke about the Romanians a while ago. 1905, a pogrom against Jews in Minsk, Belarusia. Hey, it took a while, but we finally got our first Jew article of the day. 1906, Archaeological Institute of America formed. 1 year later, Chicago White Sox pitcher Ed Walsh no-hit New York Highlanders 8-1 in a 5-inning game. That's short. Why only 5 innings?
That could have been rained out. Who knows?
I guess so. 1908, at Mesjid Suleiman in southwest Persia, the first major commercial oil strike in the Middle East was made. Rights acquired by the United Kingdom. So it says the rights to the resource were quickly acquired by the Anglo-Persian Oil Company. So there you go. 1908, Mr. and Mrs. Jacob Murdoch and their children, here we go, became the first family to travel across the United States by car, Los Angeles to New York City in a Packard 30, taking them 32 days, 5 hours, and 25 minutes. They gotta make a movie about that.
Yeah.
I mean, we think the Griswolds had a trip of hell. 32 days in a car. Like,
wow. 32 days.
32 days. And that's the first one ever. So, I mean, like, how much foresight did they have? Like, did they plan out any type of journey? Were there any such a thing?
What was Mr. and Mrs. Jacob Murdoch thinking?
But
thinking
like
their kids.
But how do you find a hotel? How do you find food? How do you find gas? How do you afford all that for over a month without working, just spending? Yeah. Like, that's wild. What else do we got here? 1911, Germany passed legislation organizing Alsace and Lorraine as an autonomous state with a legislature. All right. 1913, Emily Duncan became Great Britain's first woman magistrate, authorized to act in lunacy matters at the workhouse in West Ham, London. I guess maybe like for soccer hooligans, probably lunacy matters at West Ham. I know West Ham has a football team, soccer, and they can be rather mental, as they like to say over there across the pond. As they also like to say. Yeah, I wonder if that's what her position was. Like, to keep the peace,
Well, could be, yeah. It makes sense.
Yeah, 1913, U.S. Actors Equity Association formed in New York City. Okay. 1918, Georgian Social Democratic Republic declared independence from Russia. Okay. 1919, the Supreme Council of Allies meeting at Versailles decided to recognize 2 white Russian leaders, Admiral Kolchak and General Denikin, and support them against the Bolsheviks. And the Bolsheviks were the commies, right? The communists?
Yeah, I believe so, yeah.
22, Vladimir Lenin suffered a stroke that left him partially paralyzed and severely limited his ability to lead the Soviet government.
No, I didn't realize that.
Yeah. Yeah, he had a stroke, and then Stalin had a stroke. And then a lot of other, communist.
But he died right after, or did it linger for a while? I didn't realize.
I know that Stalin lived for a few days.
Oh, okay. So that's a different.
He died January 21st, 1924. Another stroke. because that's 2 years. Because this is 22 and that's 24. So
yeah, so he went 2 years with disabilities and whatnot.
Yeah. I wonder how many strokes he had. I know the Stalin, had a stroke and everything, and because of his Great Purge and all that stuff, no doctor would touch him out of fear of if they screwed anything up, then they would get killed even if they saved him.
Yeah.
Oh blah blah, you hurt his ability to blink, execution. And he ended up dying for it. 1923, inaugural 24 hours of Le Mans endurance race for cars started through public roads around Le Mans, France. Inaugural winners were André Lagache and René Léonard of France for Chenard and Walker. All right. It's pretty cool. It became the oldest endurance racing event in the world. It's still going on today, as far as I'm aware. The Le Mans, 24 hours.
It is.
Yeah, it goes through all sorts of desert, everything. 23, Socialist Workers Youth International formed in Hamburg. Okay. 24, U.S. President Calvin Coolidge signed immigration law restricting immigration. We can use some more of that right now.
He's one of my faves, Calvin Coolidge.
The 30th. Good old 3-0. 25, future Baseball Hall of Fame center fielder Ty Cobb was the first to collect 1,000 extra base hits when he doubled the Detroit Tigers' 8-1 win against the Chicago White Sox at Comiskey Park. Okay. 1 century ago, Lebanon adopted a constitution in 1926. It's pretty cool. Other source, also 1926. I forgot to mark this one. Abd el-Karim ended surrenders to the French, bringing an end to the Rif War. That's a weird way to write that. 27, Henry Ford and the Ford Motor Company produced the last and 15 millionth Ford Model T, the Tin Lizzie.
Now, I thought yesterday he discontinued it.
Possibly, because we do have, day-to-day repeats.
Yeah, but this is also the last one coming off the line. He may have discontinued it, and then,
Now, the way that this is written, it suggests that they made 15 million exactly, but other source says 15,007,003. So precisely,
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that's the exact number. I wonder how many Model Ts were made. Sorry.
Sounds like 15,007,003.
According to what we currently have, yeah. 1930, Supreme Court rules buying liquor does not violate the Constitution. All right. 1934, Century of Progress expedition reopened in Chicago. 36, in the House of Commons in Northern Ireland, Tommy Henderson began speaking on the appropriation bill. By the time he sat down in the early House of the following morning, he had spoken for 10 hours. And you thought, I'm long-winded. 37, Dutch railed NV at law forms. What does that mean? That's weird. It was removed from primary source, but Dutch rail NV at law forms. NV to me means Nevada, but not for Dutch. So, that's weird.
I have no idea what that means.
37, Walter Ruthler and members of the United Auto Workers, UAW, clashed with Ford Motor Company security guards at the River Rouge complex in Dearborn, Michigan during the Battle of Overpass. Why is complex in here twice? That's weird. 38, House of Representatives Committee on Un-American Activities forms because, the communists were infiltrating, 1940, the first successful helicopter flight in the U.S., Vought Sikorsky US-300, designed by Igor Sikorsky. We've been talking about this for the past couple of days. 40, during World War II, Operation Dynamo in northern France, Allied forces began a massive evacuation from Dunkirk, France. The Battle of Dunkirk began simultaneously as Allied defenders fought to slow down the German offensive. Now, the movie Dunkirk itself is really good.
Yeah.
We've seen it and everything.
Talked about that.
And another movie set in a prior war, World War I, 1917, they did, aside from that one break, it was all seemingly one shot.
Oh, yeah.
Now, what's cool is, this is a movie called Atonement from 2007. I haven't heard about it, but, I was made aware of, the one-shot thing, they did it with Goodfellas or something. It's I think they're called The Long Take, actually. So this is a 5-minute scene, but I just want to just show a bit of it because this is from Dunkirk.
This is from Dunkirk.
Yeah, okay. No. This is from the movie Atonement, which is about Dunkirk.
Oh, okay.
and it's supposed to be a one take. So they're going around and they're just seeing all the people just passing their time, waiting to be rescued. And it's a really good scene. But it just shows, like, you know, because there's like a section where they're like, you know, shooting horses, so that way, because, you know, they can't rescue the horses,
right.
But they don't want the enemy to make use of them, so they're shooting them. You know, they're knocking the steam caps or whatever it is off the top of the hoods of the cars, so you know, busting the engine. Yeah, you know. And earlier in this scene, or it's, I think, I'm not sure if it's in this video or in a different video I saw, but like earlier than this, they're talking about saying, "Be happy you're not wounded. We have orders to leave them behind." Like, damn,
Ooh.
dude.
Whoa.
Hey, what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
You know, like, he even mentioned something about a ship, a Dunkirk scene, with like 3,000 hands got sunk while trying to.
What's the name of this movie again?
Atonement.
Atonement.
Yeah. So.
Sounds like a good movie to see.
Yeah, I'd like to see it as well. And I'll save this for after the show here, so I'll show it to you after the show if you'd like to watch. A really interesting scene. Moving on up to 1940 as well, during World War II, the Siege of Calais ended with the surrender of the British and French garrison. Yep. 41, aircraft from HMS Ark Royal sighted German battleship Bismarck. Hunt the Bismarck. 41 as well, the American flag house, Betsy Ross's home, was given to the city of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
I'd like to see that one day. 41 as well, German occupiers began youth labor. So if you're a youngin' and you're occupied by Germany, well, get a shovel, you know, little Jimmy, you're working too.
Yeah.
42 as well, Belgian Jews are required by Nazis to wear a Jewish star. Here we go. 43, Edwin Barclay of Liberia became the first president of a black country to visit the U.S. Now that's how it was written before, and I thank goodness that they changed how it was written. The first president of an African nation to visit the U.S. That's written a lot better. You know, a black country, like, really, that's what it was written like last year. 43, Jews riot against Germany in Amsterdam. All right. 2 years later, U.S. dropped firebombs on Tokyo. A lot of people don't realize that we did a lot of firebombing. Like, there was actually there was a lot more damage and death from firebombing than from both atomic bombs.
It could be, yeah.
No, there was. That's a fact.
Okay. Yeah.
So,
I guess I'm agreeing with you more than anything because, yeah, everything was built of wood.
yeah.
So, yeah.
Now, like, what's really interesting, though, because you obviously heard about the bat bombs. You remember that? They're training bats, because, like, bats roost, and they made mock villages, mock setups of, like, Japanese towns, cities, villages, all that stuff, training the bats to roost in their architecture. And they had incendiary devices. So they were going to have, use bats as a weapon.
Holy cow.
Yeah. The only reason why they didn't have it was because of the atom bombs. Like, they were actually, like, planning to launch the bat bomb idea, like, a week or so after or something. But then the atom bomb thing happened. It's secretive, so the bat bomb people have no idea that the atom bomb's coming. So they're just plugging away, working, doing their thing. All of a sudden, we dropped 2 suns on Japan, so... 1946, Loons time!
Hey.
Communist Party leader Clement Gottwald became Prime Minister of Czechoslovakia.
Yeah.
46 as well, Darius Milhaud's third concerto for piano and orchestra premiered in Prague. Alright. And we also have New York Yankee Mel Ott retired from playing to be a manager only with 2 for 42 and a hitting of .048. Okay. Why does he look so mad? 48. Entire Haganah armed forces sworn in as Israeli soldiers. Sounds terrifying. 48 as well, U.S. Congress passed Public Law 80-557, which permanently established the Civil Air Patrol as an auxiliary of the United States Air Force. 1956, a fire on board the aircraft carrier USS Bennington in Narragansett Bay off Rhode Island killed 130 crew. Rest in peace. We also have Reds' John Klippenstein, Herschel Freeman, and Joe Black's no-hitter, broken up with 2 outs in 10th and lose to the Braves in 11th, 2-1. I'm having a hard time following that. So,
he had a no-hitter going,
Yeah.
and then it got broken up with a
2 outs.
hits.
Okay.
And then they ended up losing in the 11th.
Okay. 58, Ceylon. Why can't I read that? I know it's a country. Ceylon. There we go. Emergency crisis was proclaimed. Why? Like, what was happening with Ceylon? Ceylon. I know I'm pronouncing that wrong.
I believe it's Ceylon.
Ceylon. I don't know. It sounds too much like Cybertron. I don't know. Like, there's just something.
I'm not
in my
familiar
head.
with it, so I would pronounce it Ceylon. That word.
Maybe I'm thinking of another country, but something in my head is just telling me it's wrong. Anyway, 59, MLB Pittsburgh Pirates Harvey Haddix pitched 12 perfect innings, lost in the 13th to Braves at Milwaukee County Stadium. Almost had it. We also have the wreck of World War II bomber Lady Be Good in the Libyan desert was reached by a recovery team from U.S. Air Force's Wheelus Air Base in Tripoli. The plane had crashed returning from initial mission on 1943. Yeah. 61, Freedom Ride Coordinating Committee established in Atlanta. Protesting the whole segregation thing on buses and everything.
Okay.
The Freedom Riders and all that stuff. We've spoken about them a handful of times. How they were attacked, by white mobs and everything, and all that jazz, all sorts of horrible stuff. 61 as well. USAF bomber flew Atlantic in a record of just over 3 hours. Dang. We're getting ready for instant reactions. 63, Organization of African Unity forms. All right. 65, Dutch voting rights bill passed. I'm going to look that up really quick just because, what does that mean? Okay, Voting Rights Act of 1965, but this is U.S. We're talking about Dutch. Dutch voting rights bill passes. Or is this a voting rights bill about the Dutch in the U.S.?
I don't know.
I
don't know what it is.
I don't either. That's why I have it, comment thing here says look that up. What else do we got here? Well, I'm going to just double check to make sure that's, I have no idea who the heck that guy is. Anyway, 1965, revised International Crown Convention on Safety of Life at Sea took effect. Not Crown, the revised International Convention on Safety of Life. This guy keeps DMing me. I don't know why.
Who?
Some guy on Discord. He's DMing me right now for some reason. 66, Buddhist set himself on fire at U.S. consulate in Hue, South Vietnam. That's protesting the war, I presume. 66 as well, Guyana, formerly British Guyana, declared independence from the United Kingdom. All right. 67, EMI Rush released the Beatles album Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band in London and select markets in the UK prior to nationwide release. It would go on to be number 1 for 15 weeks in the US and 22 weeks in the UK. That is phenomenal. 68, H. Duggerin of Iceland, traffic changed from driving on the left to driving on the right overnight.
I love things like that.
That's like...
Okay.
Panic!
I had a hard night drinking last night. What happened?
Yeah. The whole world gone flipped upside down. 69, Apollo 10 astronauts returned to Earth after a successful 8-day test of all the components needed for the forthcoming first crewed moon landing, Apollo 11. 69 as well, John Lennon and Yoko Ono began their second bed-in for peace at Hotel La Rienne, Elizabeth, Montreal, Quebec, Canada. So not only did these degenerates do that crap, but they did it twice. What a couple of sickos.
Yeah.
1970, the Soviet Tupolev Tu-144 became the first commercial transport to exceed Mach 2. And, that's a photo of Dunkirk right there, just all the people waiting and everything. I knew there was something I wanted to show. There we go. So check that out.
Jeez.
That's a really cool looking aircraft, actually.
Yeah.
So I'm going to image
Looks like the Concorde, but I don't think so.
kind of, sort of.
They didn't have those upper wings.
No. That's the Russian one, right here. But this is what it looks like from the side. So they did mimic the Concorde, but they also have that weird thing. So for whatever reason, but yeah, they were mimicking the Concorde. Absolutely. What else do we got here? 1971, Bangladesh Liberation War. The Pakistani army slaughtered at least 71 Hindus in Burugana, Salit, Bangladesh. It's terrible. In the Republic of Ireland, in 1972, the Special Criminal Court was reinstituted to deal with crimes arising out of the Northern Ireland conflict. As part of the measures, trial by jury was suspended. 72, U.S. President Richard Nixon and Soviet leader Leonid Brezhnev signed the SALT Accord. So they signed the SALT I agreement in Moscow, limiting anti-ballistic missile systems and placing the first major restraints on the U.S.-Soviet nuclear arms race. Excellent. What else we got here? 73, Funky Worm by Ohio Players hit number 15. Have you heard of this?
No.
So like this is just a bit of it, and I'm actually going to add this into the underbar section. I'm going to play a little bit of it here.
Funky Worm.
He's the funkiest worm in the world. Okay, sing it fast. There's a worm in the ground, yes it is. That's right.
Let me fast forward. Like it comes out of the hole apparently, and they
Oh, that's funky, that's funky.
it goes on to play a guitar and all that stuff. It's a cool song. Like, you know, so I like it. What else do we got here? And that will be, you know, it's in the underbar section after the live stream, you know, portion area. 73, Bahrain adopted its constitution. Okay.
All right.
74, during a David Cassidy concert at London's White City, a 14-year-old was trampled and died 4 days later. Terrible. 75, I was trying to ignore this because it reminds me of Alice. You know, she always randomly just like started singing the song Rhinestone Cowboy, single released by Glenn Campbell, Billboard Song of the Year 1975. But like as I said, I tried to avoid it because it was an article yesterday, and then it popped up today. So I'm just like, okay, whatever, I'll cover it. You know, fate really wants me to read it, doing it twice.
Yeah.
So. 75, tennis game in Surrey Championship lasted 31 minutes, one of the briefest contests in the tournament's history.
Whoa.
One of the briefest. So what's shorter than 31 minutes?
I don't know.
Like 30 minutes? Like 5 minutes? Like how short can it get? 77, George Willig climbed the South Tower of New York City's World Trade Center, famously fined 1 cent for each of the 110 stories he climbed. So an entire
So
$1.10.
$1.10.
Yeah. That's still annoying though. I just wanted to image search this to show. You know, here he is. Like he's using these clamps, gets in, you know, between the windows and it like clamps it or something, somehow. But yeah, like there he is, climbing the World Trade Center. Freaking lunatic, dude. Like there he is, way up there. Look at that.
Crazy.
What a psycho. What else do we got here? 1978, the first legal gambling casino opened in Atlantic City. Good old Atlantic City.
Yeah.
365 days later, 1979, CBS Records released Frank Zappa's Dancin' Fool single from his album Shake Your Booty. It peaked at number 45, his biggest hit at the time. And I actually, there's a record here. Have you ever heard this one?
I think so. That's what I'm thinking.
Oh, okay. And did you knew Frank Zappa, right?
Of course.
Okay. I'm getting people confused and such. So, what was this? Dancing Fool. Gonna add this in the underbar section as well. You know, after live streams portion. Moving on up to 1980, Soyuz 36 carried cosmonauts Valery Kubasov and first Hungarian in space, Bertalan Farkas, to Salyut 6. Nice, the first Hungarian in space. 1980, Columbia Records released McCartney 2, album by Paul McCartney in the U.S., his second solo home-recorded record, peaked at number 3 on the charts, spurred by the number 1 single, Coming Up. Okay. 81, Marine jet crashes on flight deck of USS Nimitz, killing 14. It was during the operations in Abrahamic Sea, the Arabian Sea, sorry, and also 45 were injured during this. So it says here from other source, an EA-6B Prowler crashed on the flight deck of the aircraft carrier Nimitz, killing 14 crewmen and injuring 45 others. 81 as well, the Italian Prime Minister of Arnaldo Florani and his coalition cabinet resigned following a scandal over membership of the pseudo-Masonic Lodge P2 Propaganda Do. What is this rhyming stuff? Like Electric Boogaloo? Like, 1982, British ship Atlantic conveyor carrying Chinook helicopters and destroyer HMS Coventry hit in the Falkland War. 39 crew members died. So I guess they ran into each other. Yeah, yikes. 83, the LA Lakers set NBA playoff game record of fewest free throws.
Oh.
But what are they?
Yeah,
Well,
how many?
Yeah, that's all it tells me. Numbers. I need numbers, Loon. Come on. Do you know the numbers?
No.
You're supposed to be my sports guy.
And I thought it was going to be the winning streak of 33 straight, but that wasn't the case. It's free throws.
Fewest free throws. Let's just telling you about the playoffs, not about the. Okay, what is this? Is this the same one? May 26, 1983. Yes. Okay. Yada yada yada. Give me. Am I gonna see a number in here? Like. Okay. Yada 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 yada. 83, May 26. There's no numbers. I get it. I'm about to lose my mind here.
We'll have to go back to the box score for the night.
Fewest free throws. There has to be something in here. Like, hopefully, I'm going to put this in here. Somebody's going to go into the underbar section.
Help us, please.
And please tell us.
What is it? 1, 2, 3, 0.
I just went through a multi-paragraph article. It doesn't even. I don't see a number, and now I'm actually getting mad. 1983 as well. NASA launched Exostat. What is Exostat?
I don't know.
So I'm going to look that up as well. Exosat. The European X-ray Observatory satellite, Exostat, originally named Helos, was an X-ray telescope operational from May 1983 until April 1986, and in that time made 1,780 observations in the X-ray band of most classes of astronomical object, including active galactic nuclei, stellar coronae, cataclysmic variables, white dwarfs. So this thing did a lot. That's awesome. So let's see here. What was it called? Exosat. What were you going to say?
My question is, do we have space junk up there now?
Oh, absolutely. Like,
or did it come down?
Well, I mean, there's always things coming down and all that stuff, but estimated space junk map. Like, do you remember the opening of Wall-E?
Yeah.
Where like it goes through the entire layer, all that. That's more or less what it looks like today. I mean, this is the current estimate space debris map. Like, I don't know what the colors mean. All I see are dots that are not supposed to be there naturally, you know? So,
yeah.
Like, how astronomers get rockets up there with all that crap. I mean, it's not just one layer. You have bands and multiple layers, and you know, a lot of that is crap, but a good portion of that is also like active stuff. And now you have like how many thousands of Elon Musk's little things up there, Starlink. So
yeah,
you know, and like all these companies, they have satellites. Militaries have satellites. Countries have satellites. You know. So it's just, how we get anything up there is beyond my understanding. 1983, the 7.8 MWC of Japan earthquake shook northern Honshu with a maximum Mercalli intensity of 7, severe. A destructive tsunami was generated that left about 100 people dead. Yeah. A4, U.S. President Ronald Reagan ruled out U.S. military intervention in Iran-Iraq war. Did we not intervene or anything?
No, we let them just kill each other.
Well, I mean, that's what we should do. So. 86, the European community adopted the European flag. I'm going to look this up here. This wasn't in the thumbnail because the EU can kiss my star-spangled ass for all the not help that they're giving us. So, but this is their flag for what it's worth. What else do we got here? AO's time. 87, we have a great offensive against Tamil rebellion in Jaffna, Sri Lanka. So Sri Lanka launched a major military offensive in the Jaffna Peninsula against the Tamil Tigers to retake rebel-held territory during the Civil War. 87 as well, U.S. Supreme Court ruled dangerous defendants could be held without bail. I mean, that makes sense, you know. We also have William H. Webster replaced Robert M. Gates as 14th director of CIA. You know, I was going to not read that, but I'm like, it's my year, I should read it. 89, U.S. radio broadcasters went silent for 30 seconds at 7:42 a.m. to honor the radio industry. That's pretty cool, so I guess that's when it started.
I guess.
Like,
I don't know.
Yeah. 89, Danish Parliament allowed same-sex marriage. Epic. 1990, Philadelphia Phillies retired future baseball Hall of Fame third baseman Mike Schmidt's uniform number 20. Why couldn't I not get through that? We also have Lauda Air Flight 004 broke apart in mid-air and crashed in the Phoi Thoi National Park in the Suphanburi province of Thailand, killing all 223 on board. Rest in peace. Zavaid Gamsakhurdia became the first elected president of the Republic of Georgia in the post-Soviet era.
I remember you trying to say his name the other day.
That must have been somebody else.
It could have been.
There's so many weird names out there. 93 in Major League Baseball, Carlos Martinez famously hit a ball off Jose Canseco's head for a home run. So actually,
bounced off his head and over the wall.
Yeah, was that the link to Dancing Fool? Yeah, I believe it was. Here we go, right here.
And Canseco goes back to the wall. He looks like he's checking the wall. He's checking the ball. Checking the wall, and the ball reaches up. Hits him right in the head. He goes over the top.
It hit Canseco in the head and bounced over the wall for a homer. Look at this. Boink.
That's hilarious. There's, of course, a picture of it. So, 93 as well, Emmy 20th Daytime Award presentation. Susan Loki lost for the 14th time. She is the lady. Remember, I brought this up yesterday.
Yeah.
I was like, and you said, no, she's not. No,
Well, not the picture you had there.
What do you mean?
Who's the lady you're talking about?
We were talking. We covered an article a week or so ago about some. Well, no. We covered. Okay, let me start from the beginning. We covered an article a week or so ago about some lady who finally got awarded, and then I made a comment about, oh, was that lady? Because like I used to see that all the time, doing the show over all these years, and then yesterday we got that article, and then today we have this other one loses for the 14th time. So she is the one that I mentioned yesterday that I was talking about from a week ago.
I guess so.
So
my bad.
Yeah. 1996 parliamentary elections in Albania are disputed, with irregularities and intimidation causing opposition parties to withdraw. Pro-Western Democratic Party won over 50% of the votes. Okay. 1998, the United States Supreme Court ruled that Ellis Island, the historic gateway for millions of immigrants, is mainly in the state of New Jersey, not New York. Oh, that could start a war, dude. Legitimately, that can actually start a war. 98, the first National Sorry Day was held in Australia. Reconciliation events were held nationally and attended by over 1 million people. I'm surprised it wasn't started in Canada. Those maple-loving moose people are so sorry. What's all that about, eh? The year 2001, Super Rugby final in Canberra, fullback Andrew Walker kicked 5 penalties and 3 conversions as the ACT Brumbies won their first title, defeating Coastal Sharks Durban 36-6. That sounds incredible, but it's rugby, so I mean that's like cricket light, like it's on the way, If you don't want the full mental anguish experience of cricket, look at rugby. It's on the way there. 2002, the tugboat Robert V. Love collided with a subject pier of Interstate 40 on the Arkansas River near Webbers Falls, Oklahoma, resulting in 14 deaths and 11 others injured.
So it crashed into a pier?
Yeah. Collided with a support pier of Interstate 40. So, like a part of a bridge or something.
Okay.
So, so it's a tugboat. So does that mean it collapsed the thing? The pier?
I don't know.
Hold on a second. Let me look this up here really quick, just to see, because 40 people or 14 deaths. Yeah, it did.
Yeah,
it did collapse. Okay, that makes sense. Because I was gonna say 14 deaths and 11 injured. If the tugboat was the only thing that was affected, that's a lot of people on a tugboat. Like how many people do you need on a tugboat? 5?
Yeah.
So yeah, no, so a lot of car traffic. That's a shame. 2002 as well, the Mars Odyssey found signs of large ice deposits on the planet Mars. It's pretty cool. 2003, only 3 days after a previous record, Sherpa Lapa Gilu climbed Mount Everest in 10 hours, 56 minutes. The Tourism Ministry of Nepal confirmed this record in July that year. So we spoke about an article yesterday or the day before.
Yeah, something like 15 hours or something.
Well, no, did we talk about like 8 hours?
Could have been.
Because I made a comment like, that's just a shift for work. 8 hours.
Oh, yeah.
2004, the New York Times published admission of journalistic failings, claims it flawed reporting and lack of skepticism during build-up to 2003 Iraq War helped promote belief that Iraq possessed large stockpiles of weapons of mass destruction. What a crock of shit right there. 2004 as well, the United States Army veteran Terry Nichols was found guilty of 161 state murder charges for helping carry out the Oklahoma City bombing. Wow. Wow.
Yeah. That
Damn.
was horrible.
2006, the May 2006 Java earthquake killed over 5,700 people, leaving 200,000 homeless. Yikes. 2008, severe flooding began in eastern and southern China that will ultimately cause 148 deaths and force the evacuation of 1.3 million people. Woo! 2012, Benedict XVI's butler was arrested for allegedly leaking confidential documents. What? The butler did it! We should have listened to Clue the whole time. 2013, Joss Wheaton was awarded an honorary Doctor of Letters from Wesleyan University. And I know I said that weird. Honorary. Honorary Doctor of Letters. Well, that's pretty cool. 2014, protests across Thailand in response to a military coup. General Pramath warned of a crackdown in demonstrations if demonstrations continue. In demonstrations continue? Like, they misspelled that, obviously.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to fix that right now. Where did it go?
Right there. Oop, too far.
Yeah, there it is. Okay. If. 2014 as well, World Health Organization confirmed that Ebola had reached Sierra Leone. Uh-oh. 1 year later, Cleveland Cavaliers won the NBA Eastern Conference. Cool.
Yeah.
We also have Henry Thedgrill released his album In for a Penny, In for a Pound with jazz quintet Zooid, Pulitzer Prize for Music 2016. That sounds like something you would say. So, not absolutely nonsensical, but it has something to do with money. 2017, Taliesin Miridan Nemeki Mishi and Ricky John Best killed. Micah David Cole Fletcher injured defending Muslim teenager in Portland, Oregon. Wow. What was going on there? 2018, Ireland voted to repeal their 8th Amendment to allow legalized abortion. 66.4% voted yes. Didn't we cover that yesterday? Like, getting rid of, their 8th Amendment and replacing it with, like, the 36 or something ridiculous?
I don't remember.
Yeah. 2019, Ken Wyatt became Australia's first Aboriginal Minister in government as the Minister for Indigenous Australians. Excellent. I agree. Let the natives, run their lands. 2019, 9 climbers died in a week on Mount Everest after overcrowding led to a huge queue to reach the summit. Yeah, there's serious problems these days. It's become so mainstream that it's almost like, it's almost a whim. I have nothing to do today. Let's go summit Everest. Fuck it, Like, it's almost, like, it's not that easy, but, you can do it in a couple of days. And now, like, there's been serious, let me show you, Mount Everest overcrowded. There's this one section it's a small, this right here. Look at that.
Jeez.
Look at all those people. Like, come on, load up. Load. There you go. Look at that.
That's crazy.
And, that's the only way in or out.
Wow.
So, like, the people coming out, to make room for the people coming in, have to, so they have to, look at that on the left. What the fuck, dude? It's ridiculous. And people have died because of this. Well, as I said, 10 people in a week. That's ridiculous. I mean, if it wasn't for that crap, I still would like to climb Mount Everest. I know I'm never going to do it, but there's a lot of things that everybody wants to do.
Do you think you could?
No. Absolutely not.
Okay, you're not delusional.
No. I don't. Of course, I don't think I can, but I'd like to. And with it being that crowded, obviously, it's not a cakewalk, but I mean, it can be done.
Take the joy out of it.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
in a traffic jam like that.
If you're sitting there and some guy's there with the clicker, let me see your tickets.
Yeah.
What the hell? I'm climbing the tallest mountain in the world. What the fuck is this? Subway? So, anyway, 2020, Costa Rica became the first country in Central America to legalize same-sex marriage. Excellent. U.S. restricted travel from Brazil as the country posts world's second highest number of recorded cases of the Kung flu. So, we also have protests triggered by the death of George Floyd erupted in Minneapolis, St. Paul, later becoming widespread across the U.S. and around the world. Yep. Twitter added warning labels to warn about inaccuracies in U.S. President Donald Trump's tweets for the first time. So this great censorship begins.
I remember them bitching about that.
Yep. 2021, a super blood moon. Well, because as soon as you start doing that, you can start saying, oh, this is misinformation, that's misinformation, Yeah. Well, who are you to say it's misinformation? Based off of what source? And now AI, this is wild. AI is using AI-generated news articles as its source while it's researching things.
Jeez.
And a lot of those articles are erroneous because, they're making up things or saying whatever it is that they're programmed to say to whatever, it's wild. 2021, a super blood moon, the first total lunar eclipse of 2 years, visible across the Pacific. Apparently we're going to have another blood moon here soon or something. We also have Amazon said it will buy 97-year-old film and television studio at Metro Goldwyn Mayer, MGM, for $8.45 billion. Wow. This is too much. This should be illegal. Whatever happened to anti-monopoly? We're allowing, all these major purchases, all these massive companies to eat all the other massive companies, even bigger massive companies? What the fuck? We used to break these people up.
Well, it's a different genre form entirely. Amazon.
It doesn't matter. They're becoming too big. There needs to be a law. If you're a gummy bear factory, you should not be allowed to make tires, for example. Once you pick to something, that's it. I don't know. But this is getting ridiculous. Pretty soon everything's going to be owned by 3 people. No matter what you want, anywhere, what? No choice. 2021 as well, a ferry sunk carrying about 150 people in Nigeria between Niger State and Kebbi States, with only 20 people rescued. Yikes.
That's terrible.
Yeah. Former advisor Dominic Cummings gave a damning report into MPs, members of Parliament, into UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson and his government's handling of the Kung Fu crisis. That piece of shit Boris Johnson, holding that party and everything. And then he issued an apology and took away what he imposed on people, and they ate it up. They should have strung him up by his thumbs, in the very least. 2021, in landmark case, oil giant Royal Dutch Shell ordered by a Hague court to cut its global carbon emissions by 45% by 2030. Yeah, that ain't gonna happen. 9 people were shot and killed by their colleague, a public transit employee in San Jose, California. VTA rail yard. Huh. I don't remember that. Oh, really? I think I do. I don't know.
I don't even quite know what that is, other than it's San Jose.
Yeah, it was a shooting.
Okay.
9 people were shot and killed by their colleague.
Oh, colleague. Okay.
Yeah, a public transit employee at the VTA rail yard in San Jose, California. Brandon ordered U.S. intelligence service to intensify their efforts in investigating the origins of Kung Flu. Wuhan. A lab in Wuhan with the intention to leak to cause that. Hello. We also have Brandon ordered, we got that one. Russia reported it had started vaccinating domestic animals against Kung Flu using the Carnivac Cove vaccine. Ridiculous. Now we're pumping the wildlife full of our garbage. 2022 premiere of ABBA Voyage, a virtual concert with computer-generated image of the Swedish pop band and live musicians at the specially built 3,000-seat ABBA Arena in London, England. All 4 members, as well as the King and Queen of Sweden, attended. That's pretty wild there.
Yeah.
AI, all that jazz. 2023, at least 828 civilians have now died and 3,688 have been injured over 6 weeks of fighting in Sudan, according to the Sudanese American Physicians Association. It's terrible. 2024, a fire in a camp at Rafah, Gaza for displaced Palestinians was caused by an Israeli airstrike, killing at least 35 people, mostly women and children. Well, here we go again. And just this time last year, King Charles II began a royal visit to Canada, accompanied by Queen Consort Camilla and the first reigning monarch to read the speech from the throne since 1977. That's pretty cool. Now, this last article here, it sounds bad, but look at the bright side of everything whenever you can. 2025, 65 people were injured, none killed, so injured, when a car rammed into a crowd on Water Street near Liverpool Football Club's Premier League Trophy Parade. Only injuries. So always look at the silver lining.
Yeah.
There could have been deaths. 65 people were injured and no deaths. That's a miracle.
True.
So Yeah. Anyway, that shall conclude the show. Once again, please check the underbar of the description below for any links that you may find interesting, including but not limited to all things on the Coalition. These links here, of course, will be down there in about 10 to 30 minutes, give or take. Anyway, yeah, a lot of history continues to be made on a daily basis, and we can only bring you a portion from 2 combined sources. So, you know, in this hour and change, we got through this entire document. You know, I told you guys it wouldn't be that bad. Anyway, for your dose of past events daily, we stream at 5 p.m. Pacific Time, 6 Mountain, 7 Central, and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, respectively. For all of you and all of us, I'm AO Xander.
Golden Loon.
And UVRU, thank you so much for coming in and watching us. And for anybody who's still sticking around, put in water bottle in the comments, you know? Let us know, like, you know, who's still here. Until you catch us next time, don't forget to look right and left at every intersection, rate 5 thumbs, and subscribe. Toodles! One more check, no comments. In here, and in here.